Southeast Radio's Business Matters with Karl Fitzpatrick.
Southeast Radio.
Well, one businesswoman who is certainly flying the flag for Ireland on the international stage is Marissa Carter from Cocoa Brown. And Marissa joins me now on the phone to share this success story with us. Marissa, Cocoa Brown is now stocked in 15,000 stores worldwide. But for those of our listeners who are not familiar with the brand, what is Cocoa Brown and where did the idea for this business originate from?
Thank you for having me. Well, Cocoa Brown is a self-tan or a fake tan, and Cocoa Brown was the very first 1 hour tan in the world.
Now, the tan market is very crowded and you were competing with some very well-known brands. But when you established the company back in 2012, were you intimidated about effectively taking on established tanning products and creating demand for Cocoa Brown?
I don't think I was intimidated because I think I was too naive to be intimidated. I was just busy doing my own thing and carving out my own niche, and all I was really thinking about was providing my customers with the best possible tan that I could, and I suppose developing a reputation and trying to get the brand stocked in as many different stores as I possibly could. And the biggest challenge for Cocoa Brown starting out was getting the brand outside of Ireland as quickly as possible. So approaching the likes of Tesco and Superdrug in the UK market was a little bit intimidating. But we had something that was new, we had something that was innovative, and it was different, and that gave us first mover advantage. And that made Cocoa Brown as a brand attractive to big names like Superdrug and Primark and Tesco's in the UK. And I suppose once we had big names like that behind us, and once we were able to say that we were available in those places, when we spoke to companies then outside of the UK and they recognised those big names, you know, it made us it gave us credibility, I suppose, to become stocked then in, like you say, 15,000 different retailers all over the world.
And did you choose to go direct to the retailer with this, or did you opt for the distribution model?
So absolutely went with the distribution model. So I had zero distribution experience. So I approached a distributor in County Meath and they were amazing. They just were fantastic at getting the brand stocked in pharmacies all over Ireland, and they were able to do the distribution into the UK. And then we would do trade shows all over the world and pick up distributors then. I make that sound very easy, don't I? Pick up distributors then to use for all the other territories. So we have distributors in Scandinavia, in the UAE, in Canada, in North America, in Australia, all over the world.
You make it sound easy, but I know there was an awful lot of work went behind it. And I also know that you launched a product along the way that you weren't fully happy with. Was this a costly mistake for you, and what lessons did you learn from that?
Well, yeah, I mean, I've spoken very openly about it. Not every product that you launch will be a success. And, you know, I've read enough books on any of the big brands, on so many of the big brands, and everybody launches a turkey at some stage. And so I launched a product that I wasn't 100% happy with. It was a leg product called Lovely Legs, and it just didn't work. And we had 100,000 bottles for our first batch. Well, we never had a second batch, but we had 100,000 bottles ordered, and that arrived into the warehouse out in Meath, and it took us well over a year for all of those bottles to be sold. There were some people using it, but just, I suppose, compared to the success of all of the other products, it wasn't a goer, and we didn't repeat order any more of it. And I think the lesson I learned there was I didn't follow my gut, and I rushed the product to market because I felt pressured, you know, I felt pressure to get another product launched. I learned a valuable lesson. I will never, ever launch a product again where I think to myself, God, not too sure about this one.
Now, having your product on the shelves of 15,000 stores is a great success in its own right, but it's only 50% of the battle. The marketing aspect of the business makes up the other 50%. So how did you go about marketing the product to actually push people in the front door to purchase it?
So Facebook, I suppose, to start, and then Twitter became really big, and then Instagram and Snapchat somewhere in the middle of all of that, and then Snapchat disappeared. But I have always been the biggest advocate and the biggest, I suppose I am my own brand ambassador for both Cocoa Brown and now more recently my makeup line, Carter Beauty. And so I've always used my own voice and my own skills as a makeup artist or as, a tanning expert to promote, all of my products, and, using myself on social media was a huge aspect of getting the brand recognized. But of course I had massive support from beauty bloggers and celebrities, and, in the early days of Cocoa Brown, hashtag ad didn't really exist. So it was possible to gift celebrities with your product, and they were happy to talk about it and without having to be paid for it. So we gifted an awful lot of very influential people. We had everyone from Kylie Jenner to Khloe Kardashian to, we did the tanning at the Oscars. We did lots of work with celebrities very early on, and that was something that a lot of brands weren't really doing. They were paying the likes of say Eva Longoria or Cheryl Cole. They were sort of official brand ambassadors, whereas we were doing sort of more covert stuff, like more social media work with celebrities and influencers. So that was new and that was different. Obviously that goes on every day now, but at the time it was new.
And Marissa, how important are influencers to Cocoa Brown today?
Oh, I mean, massively important, just absolutely massively important. I think we're seeing a little bit of a shift towards micro-influencers. So we're seeing that people that, young girls or women or men, whoever, any influencers who are into tan or makeup, that have, smaller amounts of followers on Instagram now have higher engagement. The number of followers isn't as important now. It's kind of more about looking at, people who are just really, really good at what they do. So they don't necessarily have to have bajillions of followers for Cocoa Brown or Carter Beauty to work with them. But we do a lot of videos as well now. We're finding that video content is getting, more and more popular all the time. So we do a lot of video content, and we would push that out, through media outlets, through all of our social media channels. But Instagram is definitely our most influential platform for social media.
So, Marissa, your latest venture is Carter Beauty Cosmetics. But what made you diversify into the makeup market?
I don't know. I mean, I suppose I'm so passionate about the beauty industry. I've never just been interested in tan. I'm a fully qualified esthetician, so I've studied and taught everything from makeup to skincare, tanning, waxing, nails, massage, holistic therapies, all of it. And I just felt it was something that I just felt I could do a really good job on. And I was so nervous because, I am a firm believer in that saying, what got you here won't get you there. And, I kept reminding myself that, I couldn't slip up on, I couldn't make any mistakes with Carter Beauty because the bar had been set so high with Cocoa Brown that people really would expect good and great things from a makeup line if it came to fruition. And so, I went from having 12, 13 products, say, in the Cocoa Brown brand to launching then straight away with 103 different products in the Carter Beauty Cosmetics line, and that was nerve-wracking. But I've had great support from the retailers. Carter Beauty is going international much faster than Cocoa Brown ever did, and we've put in the groundwork with Cocoa Brown, which has made it a little bit easier to get going with Carter Beauty. But I'm proud of it standing on its own as well.
And Marissa, this week we celebrated International Women's Day 2019. What does this day mean to you?
For me, it's a day about celebrating just how fantastic women are, and I hope and I think that I am an advocate for for my sisters and for fellow women in business, and you know, I myself am a mentor on a program called Going for Growth with lots and lots of amazing women in business. But just yesterday, we and Cocoa Brown, we celebrated International Women's Day in Powerscourt, and we had afternoon tea with just amazing, beautiful, inspiring and fabulous women.
Now, what advice do you have for any female entrepreneurs about achieving their specific goals?
My advice would be not to look around at what anyone else is doing and not to compare yourself to anyone else. And, you know, if you have an idea and you really want to go for it, don't feel like you have to get approval or you have to get people to, you know, don't tell people your idea and so that they tell you, oh, that's a really good idea, you should do that. So don't seek approval from anyone. Just go and do it. If it's what you want to do and you believe in it, don't let anyone tell you that you can't do it. I mean, obviously you want to take, you know, calculated risks, but you know what they say, no guts, no glory. So just get out there and go for it.
Well, if you've just tuned in, that was Marissa Carter from Cocoa Brown and Carter Beauty, and I'm sure that both businesses will continue to be an attractive proposition for its global customer base.
Southeast Radio's Business Matters with Karl Fitzpatrick.
South